It seems to be that time of year again, right when we just forget about Thanksgiving and we roll right into Christmas, because that's what you do after October 31st. It's boom, Christmas for 2 months. But hey, it has its upsides. You can escape in your own little world for 2 months, which could be anything from excess drinking, to playing video games, or to just avoiding your family at all, or seeing your family if that's part of your thing. Well, if you watched my previous video, then you basically know that Santa's a greedy ass little shit that saves all the best video games for the last 3 months of the year. Nothing's better than begging your parents for a $40 or $60 video game that they don't give a shit about, and nothing's worse than buying all those video games and telling your family that you're broke and you ain't got shit to spend on them. So let's dive into this Barney sack of fucking Christmas gaming games and see what else we can pull out. Now, we've determined that Santa likes to hold a lot of these games up to the last 3 months of the holiday season. But sometimes, just to be a dick, Santa waits till the last 2 weeks or even few days to release some of these games, which drives your parents insane because now they have to go out in the late Christmas season and get that shitty ass game for their bratty ass kid who's not going to appreciate anything. Meanwhile, while Santa sits in his high horse in the mall laughing at you, going ho 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 or ha ha ha, come get some of this, as he grabs his nut sacks and gives you the middle finger. So what the fuck? What game could possibly they push off to the last few minutes before Christmas? Well, I have a few, and here's just one of them. Now, while Santa made sure that you were wrecking the halls to get that last minute game that came out the week or couple weeks before Christmas, he was also making sure that you would wreck the halls for another very simple reason. Santa sometimes likes to release video game systems themselves during the holiday season. Oh, and get this, they tell you that they're in limited supply. Nothing's worse than destroying the malls trying to find your favorite game store or Walmart or Target to see if they have the damn system. And half the time they didn't, because they would sell out in minutes because they only had a couple to hand out. And now you're left there yelling at some kid who has no clue of what's going on, berating store employees because they don't know when their next shipment is going to get in, and it's your fault that you don't have a million systems for them to sell. Working in retail, I can tell you, I've heard all the crazy excuses you can think of, from nobody told me I had to be here at a certain time to get this, and the only reason why they're there and they want it so bad is so their bratty ass kids would shut the fuck up about whining the damn system. Because nothing's worse than hearing on Christmas of some ungrateful little asshole going, "You didn't get me my system, I hate you." It's like, fuck you, go out in the cold, little Johnny, see if you freeze your balls off. Maybe then you'll have some appreciation. Now, we know Santa can be a dick hoarding game consoles, but sometimes he likes to throw us a bone every now and then to give our now outdated consoles the last big gaming push, so that we don't feel so terrible that we can't get a hold of the newest thing. Now we have a brand new game that we've been waiting for on our older consoles to play and enjoy, and to partially forget that Santa's a dick and wants to just go, oh, limited supply for this, but I got a lot of this for you. Even though the people with these newer systems might be laughing at you that you don't have one, but they are secretly buying that brand new game for their now outdated system and playing it all the same. So it's not like it's that big a deal, but they just got this smug thing saying, I got this new thing, you don't. It's like, well, fuck you, guess what? You're playing the same game I am, so you're still using that same old console, aren't you? Well, let's dive into it then. Alright, Halloween's finally over with, which means two things. Number one, that shitty-ass movie, thank God, is gone and dead forever, let's hope. And number two, we're gonna be Michael Myers and butcher up the fuck out of Thanksgiving, which means we're gonna kill it, just like the turkey, and we're gonna replace it with Christmas. Because fuck, it's already Christmas at my goddamn house, it's already Christmas every fucking where. You go everywhere, it's ho ho ho. Literally, the day after fucking Halloween, I saw them putting up Christmas decorations in my mall. Which got me thinking, what type of Christmassy games am I going to talk about this year? Hell, as I'm recording this right now, I ain't got a fucking clue. So what comes after this monologue, hell, it will even surprise me. I guess I'll find out in editing. But I was almost thinking games that turn 20 years old, which there's quite a few of them. Kind of coincides with the PS Classic release, you know, throwing some of those games on there. Fuck it, that's what I might do. Well, maybe not exclusively, but hey, I'm gonna dig deep into Santa's sack,
We're going to pull out some fucking good-ass games that we played about 20 some odd years ago. That seems like a good place to start. Why not? Now that we're in the full holiday swing this season, and I was also thinking about games that are turning 20 years old, while I was doing that, I also came across an item that wasn't exactly particularly gaming related, but it came out and exactly is 20 years old. So let's take a look at the hottest thing that you had to have underneath your Christmas tree. And this is the second time I can remember in recent years, at least back then, when people completely went fucking apeshit. And it was just insane. And this year's item was just as insane, obnoxious, and at this point, so relatively obscure and forgotten about. But it's one that really stuck out in my mind as going, what the fuck? And how the hell did I get this?
Now, as I said before, sometimes Santa likes to wait till the possible last minute to release some of these greatest games of all time that he's ever going to release for the Christmas rush, just to ensure that you trample over people, yell at people, and then get all pissed off when you're waiting in line for 4 hours and they go, "Sorry, we have no more," right as you get up to the front of the line. That fucking sucks. But you know what? He did it this year in 2001 with a very specific game. Literally the week before Christmas, this game was much hyped, much anticipated, and it really paved the way for what this series of games was going to become next. Not sure which game I'm talking about? You will in a moment.
Alright, now that you're done taking a break from berating malls and raiding your local KB toy store for your fucking Furby that they don't have, so why not peer behind the counter and see what kind of video games you can pick up, since you're definitely not getting your Furby in 98. But don't speed too fast to your local KB toy store, you just might get yourself into a pursuit. Or a hot pursuit, I might say. Now that we're into the full holiday spirit, you got your Christmas tree up, you got your tons of snow on the ground, you're slipping and sliding all over the place. It got me thinking, you know what was around 20 years ago? Snow! Christmas of 98 had loads of this stuff. It was like an El Nino year or something, and our area got bombarded with a fuck ton of snow. Seemingly almost every week. It would seem to never end. So that also got me thinking, you know, instead of celebrating a single game, why not choose, I don't know, a snow level themed video? I can't put a top 10 on this, but I'm going to cover snowy things or snowy areas in games that are freaking amazing, that I love to play, that remind me of, well, Christmas and snow in general. I think that's fair, right? Now that Thanksgiving is almost here, it's time to start thinking about trampling over people while you do your Black Friday shopping. And what better way to do that than to look for video games? Because they're always on sale. They're like 99% off, tearing shit down like they are in that one South Park episode. Well, in 1998, there was another very awesome game that people were tearing down the shelves for. And no, it wasn't that fucking Furby again. It was another game that was about snow. Well, kind of about snow. Maybe not really. I don't give a shit. I always consider this one about snow. Oh yeah, I might have missed it on that last video. If you didn't see it, oh well, then I guess you're in for a shock. But if you did see it and we're like, there are more games with snow on it than that. Well, fuck you, because here's another one, and I'm sorry, I had to save the best for last, or at least in the snow video things anyways. Whatever, it's my channel, I'll do what I want. Fuck yeah. Now, it most certainly wouldn't be Christmas without having to survive something from Black Friday. Let's face it, whether it's this year or 20 years ago, people were trying to survive Black Friday forever, it seems like. And holy hell, do they like to beat the fuck out of each other for stupid things. Furbies, TVs. Back then, TVs were heavier than fuck. Imagine getting hit with one of those motherfuckers. And even video games. Hell, they became fucking flying frisbees if they ripped that shit open. But let's take a look at some games that actually took place during Christmas. Not like the actual game took place on Christmas. Not Christmas just happened, but some games that actually took place on Christmas. Actually, there's only one game that I can really think of that actually took place on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and subsequently thereafter. And it was a pretty good game. And the game happens to be 20 years old. So let's just calm down with the chaos, drop the TV for a second, stop screaming at each other for a minute, and let's play some video games about Christmas. You know, the holiday, which you're supposed to be happy and thankful and give stuff to people, not push people out of the way like these fuckers are on screen. Yeah. Alright, now you gotta be thinking, Jingle Bells in November? What the fuck is this? Well, if you forget, Christmas is 1 month away, which has already taken over November, which is the reason why you have radio stations that are playing nothing but Christmas music for 2 months straight. And while I enjoy Christmas songs and all that fun stuff, I can't stand 2 months of this stuff. But you know what? That's a fact of life. Things happen. Right about now you're seeing holiday signage pop up. Thanksgiving, if you're in the U.S., Thanksgiving thrown in there somewhere. And I'm pretty sure if you live elsewhere like Canada, your Thanksgiving was a couple weeks ago and there was probably someone with a Christmas tree up. I don't doubt it. So why not dig back into Christmas's past and figure out what Christmas joys were being spread around way back when? And I don't mean your mom. Nooch. Alright, at about this time, Christmas is at full steam, smacking you right in the face. What better way to prepare for pending doom of Y2K in '99 than to pick up some video games and do some end-of-the-world shopping? Go out in style or a bang with some new video games or video game consoles, and then go ahead and tell your family how you really feel while you say fuck them and I'm gonna go load up with all the good shit on myself. And with the pending Y2K coming at you better get those deals at Sonic Speeds before the end of the Christmas holiday shopping season, because here's a hint, spoiler alert, Y2K, it never